Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So today we are making this gown and I made use of 3.5 yards of crepe fabric. Hi guys, my name is Fatima A. If you are on this platform, I share sewing tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe. If this is something you like to learn, let's get to it. So I got 3.5 yards of crepe fabric, right? I'm just going to fold using the width. Folding, it's actually 60 the length. So after folding into two, we have 4 layers. So you'll be having the wideness to be 14 to 15 inches. I drew my borderline and then I'll be measuring the length. There is addition at the down part. You measure the length you want the gown to be, and then you cut the length out on this one that you folded, right? So now drawing my borderline and cutting it out, I marked my client's shoulder measurement divided by 2. On that shoulder measurement divided by 2, I'm going to go down to 9 inches. That will be for the armhole. Then I'll join those 2 points together with a straight line and also extend that 9 inches line. That's what I'm going to do. I have to cross check to make sure I'm on the right spot. So that's why I still marked that my shoulder divided by 2 under my 9 inches line. I went ahead to join the 2 points together with a straight line, right? Good. After doing this, I'm going to take my tape and then from my shoulder, I'm going to take it down to 16 inches. That is going to serve as my waistline. After marking my waistline, I'll take it down again to 24 inches. That will serve as my hip line. So I'm going to extend all those points. I marked 9 inches, I marked 16 inches, I marked 24 inches, right? So I went ahead and extend those lines. I said earlier, it's actually a gown, then it has pleats at the down part, right? So for the gown, I wanted it to be 40 inches by the time I'm done, or 39, close to 40. Because my client's length is 58. So I marked 40 and then 1 inch for the allowance I'll be using to join the gathers, the pleats. Depends on where you want your pleats or gathers to start from. I went over, I marked out my neckline. So for this gown, the back will be around the neckline. I made it of 3 inches by 2. And then for the front, it's going to be a V neckline. I made it of 3 inches by 6 inches. You can use any dimension you want, any type of neckline for this dress. It mustn't be V or round the neckline. That's my 6 inches, and then I'll just join the points together to form my V neckline, right? So after doing that, at the armhole line, that my shoulder divided by 2, I'm going to measure 1 inch downward and I'll join it to my neck width. That's my shoulder slope or shoulder slant, right? Good. After doing that, at the 9 inches, that's our bust line. It's going to serve as our bust line. I'm going to impute my client's bust measurement divided by 4. Dividing by 4 because our fabric is folded into 2 and it has 4 layers, right? I calculated it divided by 4. And I'm going to just mark what I got, and after that I'll be adding additional 3 inches because I'm not adding zip and it's going to be a free gown. Because of the drawstring effect, I'll be at the down part. Added 3 inches, right? Good. So now I'll go over to my armhole. This is actually not necessary. There's no need for you to find the midpoint since I'm not. But you can find the midpoint, go out by 0.5 and then you form your armhole separately, different from back and different from front. But I didn't do that. I just used one armhole for both back and front. So after doing that, on the waistline, that's our 16 inches, right? I'm going to impute my client's waist measurement divided by 4 plus additional 2 inches. I later added 1 inch, so I made it, that makes it to be 3 inches like I did for the bust area, right? If you're adding zip, you're not adding that drawstring, you can just add 2 inches allowance for both bust, waist and hip. You're good to go. I'm not adding zip and there'll be a drawstring effect, so if you make it fitted, you're not going to be drawing anything, you understand? When I was done with the waistline, I went down to the hip line. I marked my client's hip measurement divided by 4 plus additional 4 inches for the hip area. Because of the drawstring effect, you need it to be free so that effect can be evident enough. So that's it. But in case you're not putting drawstring, you can just put your 2 inches allowance, it will be good. Went back, I added 1 inch to the waistline, so that makes it to be 3 inches. So I used 3 inches for the bust, 3 inches for the waist, and then 4 inches for the hip. And I used my ruler to join the 3 points together like this. The down part of the gown, what I have on my hip line, right, I'm just going to take it straight down. So I had 14, I took it down, but later on I deducted 1 inch. So I marked 13 inches, but you can just take it down. Even if you can take it down slantly, it's going to be fine also. But I later reduced it. That's what I'm going to do here. So I just took it down to 13, sorry, to 12 inch, 12.5, sorry. So I just took it down and I use a straight line to join it to meet that my hip line, the marking on my hip line. So that's what I did, right? And basically that's all you need for this gown. I'm done here. I'll just go over and cut out my piece. So it's very simple, no stress, just your bust measurement, your hip measurement, your length and your waist, and then where you want your pleats to start from. Yeah, so that's basically what you need, and then shoulder measurement, that's what you need. So I went ahead and cut out my piece like this, right? So after cutting out, I'm going to separate back from front because our front neckline is what, a V neckline, so definitely you need to cut it separately. But if you're using same dimension, same type of neckline, you can just cut all at once. You don't need to cut one before you separate, and you separate and then cut another. But me, I had to do that because my front piece is going to be a V neckline, right? So after cutting, this is what we have for our back piece and our front piece. Is this not looking lovely? So I had to cut out an interface. Both front and back piece I'm going to use to turn the neckline. You can use bias, but I feel like using this is more neater. You understand? So I just cut out my interface and then I just shaped it the way I wanted to, right? So that's all I did around this part, and this is what we have for the back piece and also for the front piece. So I already stitched my interface to my neckline, and I'm going to go over, give it a good iron press and use my hemming tape to tape it down. I already cut out a piece I'm going to be using for my drawstring casing. Like I normally do, 2 inches, I folded half inch inward like this, and at the upper part and the down part I folded not up to 1 inch, and I give it a good iron press to make the middle point evident and also the sides to be very evident, as you can see. So I measured the length I had. So the width, like I said, after folding everything, I ended up having 2 inches. So basically you are cutting out your piece to be 3 inches. When you fold half at the end, you'll be having 2 inches, right? And for the length, I made use of 14.5, which is all good. So from my shoulder now on my front piece, so this is my front piece, I'm going to measure where I want my drawstring to start from. I measured 23 inches, and inward of that 23 inches, I'm going to mark 4 inches. 4 inches is your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, and like I always tell you guys, it's not constant, it depends on your client. So my client in this case was 3.5, not 4. I'm used to using 4 for myself, so it as was 3.5. So I took it down by 14.5 inches. You know, that was the length of the casing I cut out, right? So I marked my 3.5, and I will join it with a straight line. So I made of the length to be 14.5 because that's the length of my casing. If your casing is 15 and 16, you measure it downward, right? So I place my casing on it, and I make sure the middle point and that line aligns, and I'll just stitch the middle point and also stitch the sides of my casing. So I don't stitch the upper part or the down parts. People normally do ask. I don't stitch. I just stitch the middle and then the left and right. When you get to this point, you can use a pin to pin it down so that you won't make a mistake. I took it to my sewing machine, stitch the middle point and the 2 sides, and this is what we got. So I cut out another piece using the full length of my fabric, which was 60. Stitch the side, the down and the upper part, and I left a place on stitch at the side. That's what I'm going to use to turn it. And I created this rope for my drawstring, right? Watching my video, creating this rope won't be hard for you. So now your piece 1.5 or 2 inches, and then you fold in half or 1 inch, depending on what you want, what dimension you're working with, and then you fold in and stitch like this in form of a bias. That's how you easily form your drawstring group. Very easy. I'm not stitching and turning anything when it comes to the drawstring group, right? I also did the same thing for this, but not as long as my drawstring group. So this is what I got, 10 inches. I'll be using that for my rope casing at the 2 sides of my gown. Split that into 2. All right, good. After that, I'm going to bring my front piece. I'm going to open it up and put my back piece on it, front face facing front face, right? We are going to join the shoulders together and the bodies. After joining, so this is our front piece, right, with the drawstring casing. So this is the back piece. I'm just going to join them together, front face facing front face. I'll stitch the shoulders by 0.5 inch, right? So, and then for the side, I'm going to also stitch the sides. But now that strap that I splitted into two, you see the way I placed it at the waist line? That's how you do it. You fold it into two and you place it to both left and right. The sleeve, I got tired, I wasn't able to capture it, but this was how I cut out the sleeve. I had to reduce the wideness at the down part because she didn't want it to be so wide. I passed my rope through my drawstring casing and then I stitched my sleeve to it. Then now I'll measure the down part, what I have in total for both back and front. This is I had left. This is it. I already splitted. I've stitched them together, hemmed both down and the upper part. Measure what you have on your gown and then what is left to complete your full length. That's what you'll be cutting out for this down piece. I told you earlier, right? I went ahead, I measured my gown length, and then after measuring I had 40. So since my client's length is 58, what I'll be needing is 18 inches, right? But since there'll be a drawstring, right, you know that when you draw, it's going to draw some part of the gown up with it, right? So basically you'll be needing to add about 2 or 3 inches more to your original full length. So instead of 58, I was aiming to get 60 or 61, so that when she uses the drawstring, it's going to fit perfectly. So this is the piece for our pleat, right? So you see, I got, after adding it, I'll be having 61 inches, right? Perfect. It's going to look nice. It will be better. Add 2 or 3 inches to your full length. That's what you'll be working with if you're adding drawstring. But if you're not adding drawstring, just make do of your full length. So now I went ahead to my sewing machine and I just split this piece round my dress, and then I had to hem the sleeve part. So I had to reduce the wideness at the down part because she said she didn't want it to be the same way it was in the sample she sent me. So this was what we had, and this is how it's looking. This is the belt strap that I added by the waist side, the two sides. And guys, this is the final result. This is how the back looks like, and I'm going to put the belt for you people and show you what it gives. And also I'm going to draw the drawstring for you guys so you can see what it gives. I wasn't able to get a picture or videos for my client, but she actually loved it and I was happy she did. Guys, if this video has been helpful, like I always say, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification bell, give me a thumbs up and make your comment. Biko, please and please, you should do that. If this video has been helpful in one way or the other, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Abby, right? Yes. I was looking for any question, please drop it in the comment section. For your style request, you want me to try out something, you can send it to my Facebook. So thank you all for watching. I'm going to be seeing guys in another video. So I made use of crepe fabric and I used 3.5 yard for my clients. Right, down parts I made use of pleats. I did pleats, tiny pleats at the down parts. So thank you guys for watching once again. I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.